Good riddance, Mark Waid. Good to meet ya, Charles Soule. The veritable English patient of contemporary comics, beneficiary of more baseless ballyhoo than a Nolan film, recipient of more undeserved awards than any given exclusive on any given Sony console at any given time, and a vacuous, drooling bore whose nigh-universal critical acclaim, based chiefly around one fucking panel, might I add, is rivaled only by its monumental mediocrity. To me, Mark Waid's Daredevil was the chirping canary in the mine shafts of taste, an active case study in just how little of narrative consequence a given comic can feature, provided you gussy it the fuck up with a bunch of Bronze Age bullshit. Worse still, to hear the comic press tell it to merely deny the efficacy of the comic in question was to purchase a one-way ticket to Squaresville. Yeah, Lieutenant Tweed, well, if hating unreadable dog shit means I'm preemptively expelled from the hacky sack syndicate, yeah, fuck, one less Christmas card to mail out, jackass. And I was just about to ask if pretentious Portland ass clown was hyphenated. Charles Soule can give all the interviews he likes about Waid being a tough act to follow. Yeah, so was Mussolini, ass-face. The fact is, if Marvel were so content with his puerile performance, they wouldn't have slammed the reset button quite this exquisitely hard. San Francisco setting? Gone. Pretentious pop culture preening? Gone. Feckless foggy cancer subplot? Gone. Serpent Society? Gone. Not so secret identity? Gone. Neon-plated pimp suit? Don't ask. Gone! Kirsten mansplaining McDuffie. I'm fighting back a touchless orgasm, but that shrieking left coast harpy is gone, daddy gone. Fuck, even the 98 relaunch carried over the lion's share of the previous subplots and principal cast. The new Daredevil is a scorched earth reimagining, and fuck is it ever refreshing. Eschewing the gratingly unfunny one-liners and omnipresent in-jokes of the Waid regime for a renewed focus on actually moving the plot forward. As of this relaunch, Daredevil has officially returned to Hell's Kitchen with an as-yet undisclosed event responsible for effectively mending the frayed rivulets of his formerly public identity. In short, nobody knows who the fuck Daredevil is anymore, which, after the previous volume did a swan dive culminating in a compound fracture crescendo, mercilessly ravaging the Matt Murdock is Daredevil premise until it was well played the fuck out, was more than fucking called for at this point. Is it a shame that Bendis' single largest narrative contribution has gone the way of DC's sales figures? Sure, but Waid had hoarded that shit out like a dime store hooker for 4 years running. It was half past time to take it out behind the woodshed and put her down like old Yeller. Perhaps most shockingly of all, for the first time in the character's history, the man without fear is no longer the man without a sidekick, as a young Asian immigrant wearing an amazing Technicolor body condom that zaps his ass invisible, aptly named Blindspot, has joined the fray. My eyebrow was perpetually cocked at a 75-degree angle upon hearing this development, but I have to admit the character has thus far been handled rather well, with one lime green caveat. Chucky boy, sweetheart, we get it. He's an illegal immigrant. Unless you're actually going somewhere with this, we don't require 3 maudlin soliloquies per issue about the travails of the undocumented worker. The subtlety of your political posturing reminds me of a jackhammer I once knew, and unless you're penning a subplot where Blindspot steals a law-abiding citizen's social security number and ruins their credit, you aren't being realistic or fair about the issue either. Desist, descend from your East Coast ivory tower, do some volunteer work like myself and many others have, and learn what's actually going on with illegal immigration so you can get an accurate verity of the situation, or fucking blow me, because it doesn't belong in a superhero comic. In the overall, however, Blindspot is a very welcome addition, and with the revelations found in the latter half of the 4th issue, it appears he'll be a key figure in the Daredevil mythos going forward. And after 2 straight volumes of watching Mark Waid and company fruitlessly dry hump the Silver and Bronze Age, forward is precisely where this comic needed to go. Perhaps the most fascinating change of all thus far is Matt Murdock's shift from a defense attorney to a prosecutor. A seemingly common sense shift given the character moonlights as a fucking vigilante, but leave it to a writer who doubles as a lawyer himself to finally make that common sense transition. Of all aspects of the all-new Daredevil, this is the one I've found the most personally intriguing. Unlike the issue of immigration, this is one case where Charles Soule speaks from what I assume is genuine experience, using a clear familiarity with the legal profession to craft genuine drama that stretches beyond the rooftops of Hell's Kitchen and into the more mundane confines of the courtroom. To put a finer point on it, when Daredevil fucks up, Matt Murdock's career pays the price. It provides much-needed urgency for scenes that might otherwise lapse into Law & Order with Long Johns, and that's without saying a word about the jaw-dropping artwork. All the way back in the year of our Lemmy, 1991, I believe, when this man provided the line work for a fill-in issue during the massively underrated Lee Weeks, D.G. Chichester Daredevil era, the legendary Ron Garney's name has been bandied to and fro as a possible artist for the Man Without Fear. And he's been in my personal shortlist for years now. 4 issues in, and I can assure you all, it's safe to say he has yet to disappoint. With rough-hewn line craft characterized by fluid gesture work, punctuated by muted reds, Stygian blacks, and ashen grays, Ron Garney's interiors meld the most appealing aspects of all incarnations of classic 80s Daredevil, particularly when punctuated by the inspired decision to shade the comic using the long-lost art of the half-tone dot effect, the preferred method of conferring value in the bygone days of Paleolithic comicdom. The end result is pulpier than Donald Duck orange juice, an unabashed reaffirmation of the character's urban noir underpinnings. Action scenes sizzle, rooftop sequences loom and brood, and New York's Chinatown seethes in quiet malevolence. Ron Garney isn't even all the way through his first fucking story arc yet, and in my eyes, he's already ascended to the highest halls of Daredevil greats like Mazzucchelli, Mack, and Maleev. Don't even ask me why so many artists have last names that begin with the letter M. I've said it before, but I'll repeat once more for posterity. After hunting down long box upon long box of the entire original Daredevil run, ultimately finding myself all but 3 issues away from a complete run, with the onset of the 2011 relaunch, there grew a Mark Waid-shaped hole in my otherwise completest collection.
The longest run of any artist, letterer, writer, colorist, editor, anybody who ever did Daredevil.
2016's all-new Daredevil is the first comic featuring this character that I have purchased in nearly 5 years, and it sure as shit won't be the last. Support your local comic shop and buy this shit. I'm RazörFist. God fucking speed.
Deal with the devil, 'cause you know that it's real. Turn the deal with the devil from a heart made of steel.
Good fucking riddance, Mark Waid. God fucking speed Charles Soule. Whoops.